Yes, sir. 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 This is not a dream. This is not AI. Yeah, it's not VR, it's not virtual reality, it's not ASMR. Uh-uh. No. You're looking at the truth. We are back. It's back live to you. It's De La Spurs. I'm back, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for the applause. Yeah, man. It's been a crazy last couple of weeks. Been on a work trip, so been doing stuff for the man. Haven't really been able to catch a whole lot of Premier League football, but was able to catch some of the Spurs games on my work trip. And we're back today. We're about to talk about it all. We're gonna talk about it all. But yeah, man, it feels good to be back. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that you all are willing to wait and come back. I know. I mean, let's get one thing clear, right? It's not like you were reaching out for something that wasn't great and spectacular. You're gonna want to experience something great multiple times. So you're probably wondering when will this come back? When will it come back? You're probably saying, hey, De La Spurs, when are you coming back? And I wasn't sure necessarily when I was going to be able to do this. The holidays are coming up here in the States, so it's going to be a lot of time going which way, and then obviously with work, doing this work-related trip, I'm sure there's going to be some in the future, but I promised myself I needed to get some streams in December. We're going to be doing some streams. Listen, we're going to be trying to hone in this last month of the year, especially going into January. We're going to be seeing how Spurs is faring at that point. So, I'm back. I'm going to try to be back. We're going to try to do this. I want to try to do these streams at least 2 to 3 times a week just for an hour. So, this stream shouldn't be too long. We're only going to be going for an hour or so. I'm just going to make my thoughts clear on a couple of things. But I'm glad to be back, man. I'm glad you guys were all willing to try to come and catch the show. All right, I want everybody to take a moment right now. Hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be do better with the posts, so I'm going to be posting when I'm going to be going live. I'm going to be trying to do it well in advance so you get time to alert all your friends and your loved ones, either to tell them to come join the live, which would be fantastic, or you can give them a moment and say, hey, the next hour of my life, I need everybody to just shut up. Don't say anything to me. Don't try to speak to me. Don't even try to look at me. I don't want to hear anything you have to say, because all my hard-earned, devoted attention, which you just don't give to any content creator or to any show, you're giving it to me right now. So it means the world to me. And so yeah, just let them know, like, hey man, whatever it is, go ahead, just shut it down. Shut it down for the next hour or so. It's De La Spurs time. In that first 30 seconds of the hour, again, hit the like and subscribe button. Go ahead, hit the like and subscribe. We're trying to grow this. We're trying to make this something big, something new. I'm telling you, it's greatness. You want to be at the beginning of greatness. You want to be up front for it. You don't want to be the last one on the train. You don't want to be the person, oh, you didn't know about this guy? Well, here, let me tell you this and this. You want to see it live. You want to understand why this is so great, why I'm such a fantastic person, and why I'm doing this amazing content. So go ahead, subscribe to the channel so you can get those alerts of when I'm about to go live. so you can see my post and when I'm posting to go live or when I'm just shooting off the hip. If you subscribe to the channel, go to the channel, you'll see my X page on there as well. I think the X page is also in the description, but if it's not, go to my channel. You'll see the link for my X page. I'm always going off on rants. We're going to be starting some live voice stuff as well on the X channel. I'm telling y'all don't get it. Y'all really don't get it. Y'all really don't understand just how great this is about to be, especially with the holidays coming up. I know y'all ain't doing nothing except sitting at home, figuring out what you do and don't want to spend money on. How about you go ahead and spend your time, not your money. I'm not asking for your money now. Just your time. Come to spend your time with me, De La Spurs. We could talk about Spurs. We don't even have to talk about Spurs. We can talk about other Premier League teams and just the league in general, or just other games that are going on at the time. But yeah, man, I know people are gonna be. I know you're gonna be looking for something to do. I know you're gonna be sitting there bored. You're gonna procrastinate. Oh, I need something to do while I'm wrapping gifts, or oh, I need something to do before I go to my grandma's house. You're gonna be hitting the road or whatever. Come join greatness. Come join the live right now. I'm telling you, it's going to be worth your time. It's going to be worth it all. Thank you. Just wanted to get that out the way. Well, I think we know why we're here. I think a lot of Spurs fans have been at full attention over these past couple of weeks. Some pretty alarming stuff has been going on. Some pretty alarming stuff, but don't worry, we're going to get into it all. But I mean, obviously the big thing, what we're going to be talking about tonight is obviously the loss to Fulham. That's another home loss. Thomas Frank looking like he's at a loss for what to do, which is common with the team, at a loss, whether it's the tactics, whether they're looking for a goal. Everybody's at a loss right now. So, but we're gonna be talking about the loss at home. We're also gonna be talking about some comments that Frank's made about the real Tottenham fans. What's a real Tottenham fan? Real Tottenham fan. So we're going to be talking about his comments and what real Tottenham fans are. We're actually going to be talking a lot more about the fans and what their expectations should be. So what should the fans be expecting? What should we be looking for from Frank in this first season and from this squad? Do we have, when we look at what we have right now, do we have the right standards? Are we being critical of the right things? We're gonna get into all that. So don't worry about it. I'm not gonna get into ask too many questions. I'm also gonna clarify some things myself. Right? I feel like I need to clarify some things. I want to make my position clear on all of this, just in case you watching are wondering where I am on this whole stance. Listen, I'm kind of, I know Frank's not doing well, but I do think that he's the type of coach that we need in this moment in time, because I do think there's some more shuffling that needs to be done up top. Yeah, so I'm gonna get into all that. I'm gonna make my stance very clear. We're gonna get into it all. So, but first, let me check the live chat. Let's see how we're doing in this live chat. There's nobody in the live chat. don't worry. I know there's going to be some people that join eventually, so those laughs will soon fall on deaf ears. Soon fall on deaf ears. But we're going to talk about Spurs versus Fulham. We're just going to go ahead and get right into it. Well, it was a loss. We lost 1-2. I didn't add that in the banner, but we did lose 1-2 at home. Pretty much from the jump, it was disastrous beginning. Um, just couldn't recover after that, and I think that was the saddest part or the worst part about it is that there's no way that we could have recovered from that. Going 2 goals down, two bad mistakes. Vicario obviously having the headliner mistake with his butched or botched, should say, goal clearance is absolutely horrible. And yeah, man, I don't know what the players were thinking. We go into the second half, we get our goal. We definitely have more control of the game, but kind of felt like the momentum died with some of those substitutions, and from there we just weren't able to get enough of another foothold to get a goal in to get a draw. And disappointed, obviously disappointed. Going from the starting lineup, and guess what? I went ahead and in advance looked up the starting lineups. So see, we're getting better, getting better. Let's go ahead and get this going. And the starting lineup goes as in goal, we had Vicario, who gave up 2 goals on the day. Defenders, we had Pedro Porro, Kevin Danzo, Mickey Van de Ven, and Destiny Udogi. In the midfield, we had Mohamed Kudus, we had Lucas Bergval, João Palhinha, and Archie Gray. Up top, our 2 forwards were Richarlison and Kolo Muani. So, I think that's a pretty strong 11. I don't think there's much room for what fans are wanting more. I think you had your solidity in the midfield with Palhinha. You had your legs with Bergval and Archie Gray. You still had your potent attacker with Muani on and Kudus. You also had Richarlison, who's been, I guess, courted as the fan favorite goal scorer for this season. Thomas Frank's favorite to get a goal. Really all we have in that strike force with Solanke out. So pretty strong 11. I mean, I'm not sure if I would have made any changes to that 11 seeing it come out. So I mean, just kind of getting into it, I don't really think there's much that you would want to change from the beginning other than literally as soon as the ball was kicked. I think everything going into that game, the momentum from PSG, a lot of those players are the players that were playing against PSG, so you think they're going to carry the momentum into that game, carry the momentum at home against a Fulham team that is, I don't want to say they're relegation fodder. Let me see where they are on the table. They're 15th. 15th. They're only 1 point behind us with that win. So, I mean, yeah, not a good team at all. So you were hoping that from giving PSG a good fight, that good fight would be enough against Fulham, but obviously was not. So we're just going to go ahead and talk about just kind of the game as a whole. Now, obviously, again, first half, just horrible start. Go down 2 goals. It honestly could have been worse. We could have been down 3 or 4 at half. Mickey Van de Ven made some great last-ditch saves, and that honestly saved us from the game being absolutely unturnable at that point. But yeah, going down 2-0 at half fans aren't feeling great. Um, Obviously, you're gonna hear some boos at half. Yeah, man, it was just bad. It's just bad, and I think sort of the lack of offensive play or creating opportunities doesn't help. Because honestly, you feel as a fan if the team is not creating those opportunities, you're not really trying. And even if the team was trying on the defensive end, so to speak, you've let in 2 easy goals. So even if you are trying, it's definitely not good enough. It was really bad, just really really bad. And going into the second half, we get our goal. I forgot what minute that was in. I think it was like the 55th, 56th minute. So we get our goal. Just really couldn't get any more momentum to get a second one to get a draw, or to at least potentially push to get the winner. And I think ultimately that's the most disappointing thing about this. Is as a fan, you were just with Fulham, you were hoping that there was some more in the players. To be quite honest, you were hoping that out of all the players we had, they'd be able to throw at least another goal together, put some goal together through a set piece, open play, deflected shot, a scramble for the ball, something. You think they would try to get something together, and they weren't able to do any of it. So, yeah, man, it's rough times. It's rough times as a Spurs fan. I think we have less than 5 wins at home in the calendar year. Less than 5 wins at home. I know. That is it's a crazy stat to hear. It's a crazy stat to play, to keep trying to play against, and you can't beat it. It's like that obviously this is looming over the player's head. Not necessarily saying that that stat is being like told to them directly, but obviously I think as the players, you're not winning a lot at home. So I think there's just a lot of pressure, man, when they come into those games. If they know it's not going to go right in the first 10 to 15 minutes, if they're not 1 or 2 goals up, it feels like they feel like they can lose the game. And you don't want that from your players. You want your players to be confident throughout the whole 90 minutes, even going a goal down, confident that they can score a goal. Not saying that they can go and win the game from going down 1 or 2 goals, but at least confident that they can get a goal back. And it just feels like with these players, especially with some of these players that we've been seeing here for I don't know how many years, the last 3 or 4 years, and you still feel like when they get rolled out at home, they're still nervous. It feels like uh, it feels like the kid that's playing in their first few rec league games, and they can feel the pressure of all the parents and random people that are just coming by to see, and you can tell that they're just tense and they're not moving as freely and they're just not thinking and they're not performing. And it just sucks that they've been here for all this time and it feels like they're still uncomfortable at home. The players feel more comfortable away from home because obviously they don't have that pressure. Obviously, the fans that go away from home obviously have a deeper connection, or are more willing to cheer on the team because they're away from home. They're a lot less willing to boo the team because they want to uplift the team while they're away from home. So maybe the players feel more comfortable with those types of fans because they feel like we're always going to be cheered. They're always going to be giving us, something to keep going. But at home, when you have all those fans that are paying all that money to watch you play, and some of these players, again, we've been seeing for 3 or 4 years now, and it's like you're still not the star that we were hoping you to be. Yes, you got a starting place here, but look who you have to start. Look who you're competing against for those starting spots. So it's not like, it's a competitive position, and it's still somewhat mediocre and inconsistent. And it's leading now to the point where, again, the players don't feel comfortable playing at home. And if they don't feel that they can win the game in the first 10 to 20 minutes, it feels like they're thinking we can lose the game in the next 70 minutes, 70 to 80 minutes. And that's just not a good feeling you want to have at home. I think the fans have sniffed it out. That's why I think the fans are so willing to boo and go after the players and go after the manager, because it's like we smell this fear on you. What do you think the opposing fans and the opposing players are doing, and what do you think they feel when they walk in here and they can smell that fear is oozing and dripping off of you, that tense and anxious anxiety? It's just doesn't make for a good look. It's not an intimidating atmosphere. I think honestly, any team that comes into this stadium knows that, one, the amenities are going to be really nice. You're going to have a nice locker room, right? You're going to get a nice escort to your locker room. It's going to be a nice setup for you. Right, the field's going to be nice. You know, the away fans are right there. I'm pretty sure they get to warm up right next to that corner with the away fans. And then you go in and you play a Tottenham team that's non-threatening, non-intimidating, and it's like it's honestly just it's an easy day for some teams. For some teams, it's an easy day, and you just don't want that at home. You don't want that at home. Going to the next topic, did Frank get it right? Get some water real quick. Again, hitting on the starting 11, I don't think there's much that I don't think any fan would want to change from that. I don't think there was yeah, much any fans would want to change from that starting 11. Um, I think as far as what we saw in the first 5 minutes and the players, so to speak, not being awake and not being ready to go, can you put that on Frank? Gosh, such simple mistakes. I'm not sure you can put that on the manager. I'm not sure if there's anything, unless the manager is slapping the players in the tunnel. I don't think there's much that. Oh wait, hold on. Unless he's getting his beat on in the tunnel, you know what I'm saying? If he's not like beating and punching the players, you know what I'm saying? No, hold on. There we go. I'm Thomas Frank in the tunnel. Yeah, you better go out there with Charleston. Make sure your touch is right. Hey. So unless he's beating up the players and slapping them to get them to wake up before getting on the pitch, I don't think there's much that you can necessarily blame on him for those two early mistakes. Now, for the rest of the game and making the adjustments in the game, if you want to make those criticisms, then I would say yes. And the fact that we lost the game, I think you can put some blame on Frank for not being able to get the team to pull it together to at least get a draw out of this game. And obviously another home loss on his watch. Obviously, I don't think the biggest part of that home win record is on him, but the last 10 to 12 games, however many home games he played in that, I think there's been about 4 to 5, if I'm correct. I may be wrong, but at least 4 to 5, and you haven't really won any of those. So, I mean, it's still on him. It's still his responsibility, and rightfully so. He has to figure it out. It's one of the many turbulent, just some of the big issues we have at Tottenham, and something you have to accept when you come in to become a manager here. Is that you have to the fans and the club are going to be looking at you to change a lot of what's going on because the ownership doesn't really have any direction. The fans are emotional. We don't really have any direction. You tell us one thing, we're going to go with it, or we're going to go completely against it. There's no direction in the fans. The fans are simply a springboard or uh, a vocal amplifier of just the general feelings around the club and the public and what they're looking at. So a lot of the times, the club, the fans, the players are going to be looking for that mentality change and the shift coming from you, the manager. And is Thomas Frank that guy? Ooh, that is a tough question. I don't think so. Thomas Frank is not the guy to change Tottenham. And we're gonna kind of go off a little bit from this talk. Let's get this down. Kind of get this away from necessarily did Frank get it right from this game. Is Frank the right fit here at Tottenham? Some of the big questions that have been circling around the club and social media. If you look up anything with Tottenham, rival fans obviously bantering us with this as well. Is Thomas Frank the right man for the job? In my opinion, he's the right man for right now. And I say that to say this. We still need to continue to push to move some of this ownership out, in my opinion. In my opinion, I don't think Enoch's children deserve a chance to try to change things. Not to get too deep on it, but honestly, if Levy was so bad and over the past 25 years he's had this absolute chokehold over the club, that may be the case, but I don't believe that. I believe the Enoch family / the children were just as complicit with how Levy was running the club. If it was all on Levy, I think they were just as complicit. If not, they were probably joining in with the plans and probably helping Levy run the club as it is. So I think that the fact they try to make him the scapegoat and saying, "Oh, well, it's going to be a new Tottenham with us," it's not going to be the new Tottenham. We're still going to be moving in no direction whatsoever. Right? It may not be that we have this big old anchor, that's keeping the ship from going in the same place, but we're still going with no rudders, or the rudders have no direction to them. So we're just going around in circles and we're not going in any solid direction. So in my opinion, we need to get rid of all of it. And while we're trying to get rid of all of it, and that would ultimately be the Enoch children selling what they have left and selling the club to somebody else, I think Thomas Frank is the manager that you would want to have in charge of your football team, because I think he sets up the team to not lose. I think it's sort of hard to, just from what I see from some perspectives, people want the manager to be the right fit, the players to be the right fit, and then the ownership change, or the manager to be the right fit, and then the ownership change, and then there from the ownership make sure that the players are the right fit for the manager. And I just don't think it goes that way. It has to start from the top. So if we're saying that the top is still directionless, if it still sucks, if there's still rot at the top, you have to get rid of all of it. And I think Thomas Frank, as a manager, as we've seen, is good enough at coaching, is good enough or is aware of the league, and is good enough tactically to set the team up to not lose. I think that's the type of manager you need while fans are still pushing the ownership to move out, or if there was a sale of the club going on, to facilitate that. So I think Frank can be the right manager for now. If the fans are still dedicated to getting rid of Enoch or I should say the rest of Enoch out of this club and getting them to sell to an ownership that wants to win, that wants that has an actual footballing mind and sportsman mindset going into these decisions and wanting to push Tottenham to win. So I think Thomas Frank can still be utilized, can still be useful for now. I think it's onus on us fans to say this is manager number, I don't even know, in the last 25 years we've had this ownership manager. It's more than 25, I think. 25, but let's just say it's manager 25 in the 25 years of ownership you've been here at this club. We only have 2 trophies to show for your complete mismanagement of what everything is going on right now. And we've seen that your investment, this was a real estate group. I think Levy was a real estate man. We obviously seen the investment go into the infrastructure, quote unquote, the real estate aspect of the club, with literally the stadium down to the grass. Literally the grass. You want to talk about literally like landscaping down to the grass. We've won awards for that. They've literally made everything great from the top of the stadium all the way down to the grass, except for the footballing aspect, because they have no footballing mind. They don't have any footballing mind. So it has to be on us fans to push this ownership out, bring an ownership that does have the sporting mind and say, hey, at this point now, we have Frank. If we can get him some good players and see what he can do, maybe, just maybe, he will feel confident enough to where he doesn't have to necessarily set the team up to not lose every game. Or maybe he can still set up the team to not lose every game. But if you have good enough players up top and in the midfield, he'll be able to kind of coach and manage that in and of itself, set the defense not to lose and concede goals, and then you got yourself an outfit that can pretty much go anywhere in Europe and compete. Or it could be the complete opposite, where this new ownership comes in and say, hey, Frank's not doing good enough. We're trying to go this direction. We're going to bring in this manager because we're going to bring in this caliber of player. And if that's what it's going to be, that's what it's going to be. I'm perfectly fine with, them getting rid of them at that point. But right now, like right at this second, if we got rid of Frank before the end of this year, obviously we can wrap up this season. This season was a wrap for me anyways, because we did not set up Frank in any sort of way to compete or to be somewhat successful in his first season. So the season will definitely be a wrap by, if not most, if not all fan standards. It will be a wrap. 2, we're not going to spend any money in January. We're going to keep the same squad, because there's no way you can bring in a manager, buy for January, and it all be right and it all work. It won't work. So the ownership will say, do we still spend the money and buy players for a manager we may not necessarily have in the team, may not even have in the team yet? Or do you hold off, get the manager, let them try to figure this out, sort everything out in the end of the season? The season's a wrap anyway, and then you give them the summer window, and then you start holding them accountable or whatever. Either way, it won't work. It won't work. You can't get rid of Frank now. You have to keep Frank for this season. You have to give him the January window. You have to give him another summer window, in my opinion. And then maybe by this time next season, if you're seeing this and it's still the same, that's when you can say, you know what, maybe this guy is not the guy for the job. It's not working out for him. He hasn't changed. The team hasn't gotten any better. We're not playing any better. But to say this now, I just think, in my opinion, he's the right guy for what's next for the fans to do, and that's to get rid of Enoch. And I think while we're doing that, Thomas Frank can help set up the team to not lose. We still obviously lose some games. We can't draw and win every game. But I think just like how we saw with PSG both times, just like how we saw at Newcastle. If we can set up a team that's good enough to have a go at it and to just not try to concede as many goals as possible, if you sprinkle in some of those good offensive talent in there, not that they'll manage themselves, but he can kind of manage that a different way than setting up the rest of the team to not lose. So that's kind of my opinion on it. Another topic, and what we're gonna kind of hit on these last 2 points, and we'll call it a wrap. But the first point is his comments. What did Frank say? What did he say, huh? Can't hear you. Can't hear you. He said something that we got it pulled up here. I know, right? I'm getting better at this. Here we go. All right. Thomas Frank, I literally have like the interview, the back and forth. This is on the Tottenham Hotspur website. So if you don't believe me, go to the website. They'll have pretty much the post-match interview. Now, I'm not sure if this is directly after the game or if this is when he's actually sitting addressing the media after the game. But I have here some of the comments that has been causing quite a stir in the fan base. So let's go ahead and get into it here. So I'm not going to go through this whole entire interview. All right, I'm not going to pretend to be the interviewer and then pretend to be Frank. I'm just going to kind of go over some of the kind of highlights I saw. Now, one question that was asked was to Frank, do you understand the fans' frustration? Thomas, yeah, but I think we need to be clear on what I talked about. I talked about after Vic that I didn't like. That is unacceptable. You can't be after one player. I think that is very important because if you want anyone to perform, you need to be behind them. In my opinion, that's how you get people to perform in the best possible way. After, no problem. So Frank kind of was hinting at fans that were booing Vicario after his big mistake leading to the 2-0 lead. Now, as a coach, you have to protect your players. So I get what he's saying by doing this, and I get what he may be hinting at by saying that I guess that's not fair, that they shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, man, he has to protect his players. There's no way that he's going to sit there and say, oh, it's okay that you're booing him. I mean, I think he deserved it. You made a dumb decision. Can't say that. He may say that in the locker room, but he can't say that to fans and the media. So yeah, he's gonna say, it's not acceptable. Now, does he have the right to sit here and tell us Tottenham fans what's acceptable and not acceptable? No, I don't think he does. So maybe the wording was a little bit off by saying it's unacceptable, but I think he may have been saying it may not be wanted. It may not be something that's favorable or fashionable for the player. If you're trying to get them to do better, booing them is not going to be the way to do it. But saying that it's unacceptable, listen, I think you're going a little bit too far with saying what is and isn't acceptable for this fan base. The fan base have been looking at things that have been acceptable and unacceptable for the last 7 to 8 years. And yes, credit to you. We've appointed you because you've done so well with Brentford to be that guy to try to uplift us from this. But for you to try to point out, okay, well, that's unacceptable and you guys shouldn't be doing this. Listen, you haven't been here long enough. You haven't seen the type of BS that we've gone through. So fans aren't necessarily going to be happy with him saying it's unacceptable, but I get the sentiment of what he was trying to say. Um, let's see here. You want to, and this is the interviewer to Thomas Frank, you want to come out and put on a big performance, get a big win, and within 6 minutes, the team is 2-0 down. Do you understand the fans' frustration after 6 minutes when the team is 2-0 down? 6 minutes. It's just crazy to see. Thomas Frank replies, "Of course, I understand. That's not what I said. I understand completely the frustration when it's not working. I think we're all a bit. That it's going against us and it's frustrating in many ways. So I understand. No problem." I find that interesting that he said he as well was. I mean, of course you're going to be frustrated down going 2-0, but when he says that it's all not working, that is something that's interesting to me. What does he mean that it's all not working? He's saying it's not working, but yet, for me at least, I feel like the plan is pretty clear, and that it's you don't want to lose these games. You're not trying to lose by 3 or 4 goals every game. Maybe one, maybe two, with some good effort behind it. Maybe the fans say, but you gave it a go. You lost 2-0. It's disappointing. What are you going to do? But at Tottenham, Tottenham things are a little bit different here at Tottenham. We have a little bit of a different relationship with winning. And if you're not going to be winning, the fans are not going to be happy. You may be giving it a go, but you can only go for so long before you have to win again. And if you're not winning at all, it's just the fans aren't going to be happy. And the only reason why I highlighted that is because if he said everything was going well, I think everybody, of course, would be like, well, what the hell are you talking about? But say there was a plan that we obviously saw, and there was a plan of action, and we were losing these games. To be quite honest, fans would still be upset. Fans would still be frustrated. Maybe it wouldn't be to this amount, but it'd be pretty damn close. And I think him saying that it's not working is not going to buy him the time. As a matter of fact, it's going to make it worse because fans are upset that we're not winning. As much as fans want to sit here and say, oh, as long as you give it a go, we can see a clear plan, we'll give you the time. That's not the case. Fans aren't going to give you the time. Even if they do see what's going on, if it's not winning, then they say it's not going to work. They're not going to sit there and say, oh, we see what's going on. Well, let's give it time to see if it can win. If they see what's happening and it's not winning, they're going to want to get rid of it. So the fact that he says that it's not working, first of all, I think is a little weird because I think I see the plan working perfectly fine, but I'm not any footballing genius. So maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I don't know what I'm seeing, but for me, it looks pretty clear. He's setting up the team every game, no matter who we're playing against, to not lose. And if you want to say that there's a baseline or a structure of tactics that's going on between all these formation and player changes, then yes, you're right. It's not working because I don't see anything. But as far as when we set up with the players we have and the formations that we do against the opposition we have, I see the plan perfectly clear. It's to not lose. It's to not lose. So, interesting thoughts there. Let's go to the last little bit of this interview. All right, 2 more points I want to hit on in this interview, and then I'll kind of make my position clear. We'll wrap up. The interviewer to Frank, do you sense a disconnect between the players and the fans? Thomas replies, I think the players, everyone want to get to the win. Nothing we want more. And I hope the fans can see that they were running out there today, giving everything. But football is so beautiful and complex. It's 11 players that you need to be in sync and play and run at the same time, and there are small setbacks during games. You need to get through it and stick to the plan, stick to the bits. Sometimes it's just more tough. Sometimes you're in a spell where it's difficult, which it is right now. But there's only one way. It's going forward and do everything you can to get out of it together. So there's only one thing. We keep going and do everything we can to win the next home game. Interesting. Everything to win the next home game, not just the next game, the next home game. So obviously, that pressure of winning at home is building. He's even mentioning it in the interviews. I didn't see anywhere previously in the interview where they were talking about the home form other than just mentioning the home fans. But yes, I think that pressure of winning at home, again, is mounting. It's mounting. And the fact that he's saying the players are out there running their butts off, we've heard that for years. We've heard that for years that the players are running their butts off. There's no doubt about it. We see them go into the tunnel all sweaty and stinky. We know that they're running. We know that they're running their butts off, but we're not winning. And that's the issue, Frank. And if you're saying that the players are running their butts off, but nothing's working, then balls again in your court, buddy. Why are the players running their asses off? They're disconnected from the fans and the tactics aren't working. It sounds like you're not working in your job, in your position. And again, I think Thomas Frank should stay, but he's not doing himself any favors with these interviews. He's not doing himself any favors with the actual tactics, what we're doing in the game, and not winning. And ultimately, Tottenham being a big six club, being a top six club, we have to win. As much as we don't necessarily have the cups or the titles to necessarily reinforce this grand desire to win at Tottenham all the time, but it's just the truth of the reality. Fans want to win here. They come to the games, they want to win. They go to the away games, they want to win. They go to the cup games, they want to win. They go into Champions League, they want to win. We want to win every game. This false sense of we just want to see effort from everybody out there in the field is an absolute lie. You are lying to yourselves. You're lying to the players. You're lying to the managers, because obviously at the end of the match, when it's 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, you're upset. You're upset. You're disappointed. You're booing. You're going after the players. Even in the middle of the game with Vicario, you're booing them, going after the players. So obviously you don't care about them giving it a go and putting their effort in. If we're losing, you're upset. And Frank has to understand that if you're losing games here at Tottenham, it doesn't matter what the tactics look like. It doesn't matter what the players are saying about you in the locker room. You're gonna lose the job. It's the same thing that happened with Ange. Ange won us a trophy. He won us a trophy. He's done something no manager could have done in the last decade, I think. And he still lost a job because he was losing too many games. You have to win games. There's this abnormal connection with winning. I mean, fans say the best times were with Poch. He didn't win anything. We won nothing. No titles, no trophies, no nothing. But fans say it's the greatest moments of their lives because they felt like every game they could win. It felt like in every game we went into, we could win the game. So that's just the reality. That is why these fans have such a crazy relationship with winning, because if we're not going to win the trophies, we might as well just win every other game except the final. If we're not going to be winning trophies, win every other game except for the final. It's kind of weird, but that's just the reality of it. Last quote. The interviewer said to Frank, with the first half in mind, are you worried the players are not taking on board your messaging? Thomas Frank replied, no, I am not, because I think we have seen clearly other times it has worked much better. Maybe we haven't been absolutely free-floating, but it looked much better. I think it's isolated in two different games. The Arsenal game was hopefully a big one-off in terms of the overall performance. I think PSG, it looked like they took on board my messages. It is fair to say in second half, it looks like they took on my messages. I think this game, we are 2-0 down after 6 minutes with all the nice, good questions that we want to do so well to get back on track. I think there are so many things into it. So last part, not really making any sense to me, but interesting that he's saying he hopes that it's a one-off. That's another thing too with Thomas Frank, and I think with this language, he's not doing himself any favors. Listen, I think he wants to not necessarily give himself this. What would you say? He doesn't want to give himself the accountability of trying to do things with these players. I think he wants the accountability of, listen, we're not winning right now, and it is his fault. But how should I say this? I think he knows this squad isn't good enough to do what he wants to do or what the fans want to do. Ultimately, I think that's why he sets up the way he sets up. He sets up not to lose every game because he knows he's not good enough to win every game, which the fan base wants. So what does he do instead? Sets us up not to lose. And the issue is when you set up not to lose is that if the team you're playing against can in time manage how you're setting up not to lose, it makes it even worse because from the jump you had no intentions of winning. And he says he hopes Arsenal is a big one-off. Well, you can't necessarily say you hope it's a one-off. If you're setting your team up the same way not to lose every game and there's no intention of winning, the Arsenal games aren't going to be a one-off. That's going to be a common thing because, and no offense to Arsenal fans, I don't really give a shit about you. But Mikel Arteta, to me, I don't really think does a whole lot in a game to change the game. Yes, you can change the play. He can change the player personnel, but I don't know if I necessarily see him do a whole lot of different stuff in the games to manage these games. It feels like a lot he's rehearsed what the team needs to do in their situations and transitioning and defending and things like that. But it feels like he relies a lot on the players to do kind of their own thing and make their own choices out there on the field. So to say that Arsenal is a one-off, first of all, I don't think anything Arsenal do is a one-off thing to us. I don't think teams adjusting and figuring out that, oh, they're just trying not to lose, let's just hammer them from minute go. I don't think that's an anomaly for teams to figure out. I don't think that's going to be hard for teams to figure out. The second thing is, if you're not setting up your team to try to win, there's no way you're going to be able. If you're setting your team up not to lose, there's no way you're going to win. If you're not setting up your team to win in any form, any fashion, you're not going to win any games. That's just the reality of it. So if Thomas Frank is trying to say that, oh, it's just a big one-off because he doesn't want fans to think that that's going to happen again, first of all, he's going to be in for a reality check very soon because Arsenal is not the only team that's capable of doing that to us in the Premier League. And not only that, we're in the Champions League. So there's other teams in the Champions League that are capable of doing that to us. We've obviously seen it can be any given day, a team can give us a run for our money. And if we're just setting up not to lose and to not beat these teams, then you're going to be in for a hard day at the office. And you're going to open the door for any team, no matter what size, no matter what stature. They have to be good enough to get in that tournament. So there is already a base level of how good those teams are. And if you're just going to leave the door wide open for them to try to impose themselves into the games so that you don't lose, you let them impose themselves so you can counteract it to not lose, then you're going to be in for it's going to be long games, a lot of long games ahead. And And then lastly on this quote, when he's talking about the team taking the messages on board, I mean, I get it. It's early days. So, yes, I don't expect the team to be playing consistent, quote unquote, Frank ball, if there's any such thing as that. God, that term is so stupid. If there's any sort of thing like that, I don't expect the team to be playing it consistently and fluently now. But what I do expect is that what I do expect is that I expect to see the team come out and try to do the same thing every game. And the fact that I see the team doing different things, again, to try not to lose, that may be the common thread, but I don't necessarily see the same things happening. I don't see a formation that's being implemented and the players growing into those roles. Um, I mean, like Polina as a six, he's been a six. I think he's doing what he does best. And don't get me wrong, that's good recruitment because he's doing what he does best. He feels comfortable doing that, and it's working out because I think he's doing good in that role. But if we're talking about getting him and elevating him to do that, then it has to be some sort of consistency with that. And that is either him playing in that position every time, which he has. He may not be the best example on the team right now, but just to continue, say for example, like a Xavi Simmons, right? Or Simons, how you pronounce it. Um, he to me is kind of that quick movement number 10. You get the ball on him, he's either going to flick it off to another player or he's going to keep the ball at his feet, do something dangerous with it, create space to dump the ball off onto another player. If we're trying to convert him to be this number 10 that takes the ball and carries it and tries to find those open spaces and scans and tries to ping those perfect passes, then he needs to be playing in that 10 role like that. If he's going out on the left, coming back into the center, if he's playing up top, coming back into the center, it's not going to work. One, I don't think that playing style does work. His playing style works for what we do, what we're trying to do with Frank. I think James Madison is the better 10 profile for what Frank wants to do. And I imagine, obviously, before his injury, I think the idea was to have James Madison probably start. And if we had any intention before his injury to get a number 10, that a number 10 would probably be of that same profile. But I think we sort of panicked. I think Xavi Simmons was in London talking with Chelsea at the time. I think Chelsea was stalling because I think they wanted to get a better player, if I remember right. We came in. He said, you're going to get playing time. You're still going to be in London. You're right here. Just come on across the street and we'll get you hooked up. He agreed, and we got him hooked up. But I don't necessarily know if he's actually going to be the right fit for us. And I don't think Frank is doing anything to help him get acquainted to that. He's really just kind of just letting him loose, so to speak, and just kind of do your thing, man. Do your thing. Come on, make something happen for me. Come on, let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this, do that. And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. And yeah, man. I think the same can be said for Kolo Muani. I don't think his play style for being the striker we need somebody that needs one touch, get it out of their feet, boom, into one of the corners, or the bottom corners or top corners. You don't need someone that can flick on the ball, that can do all this, doing all these rollovers and things like that with the number 9. We need somebody who's deadly. Boom, put the ball in the back of the net. There it is. The only reason why I think we need a striker with this quote-unquote hold-up play is because we have Xavi Simmons as a 10 who needs the players around him to play off of. He needs to get that space to run with the ball and get the ball in his feet into space if you want him to be effective. So he's running straight at defenders, straight towards the 10 to say, hey, boom, let's do a 1-2, flick it off you, flick it up in the air, flick it toward, do something so that I can get into some space and try to run and do something with the ball. And I just don't know if Kolo Muani is, he feels like he fits that type of profile, but that's not what we're trying to do as a whole with offense. And you can see that that's where really the biggest disconnect is. We have players that are suited to this counter-attacking style where they get the ball into space, and that's where they're dangerous. With Thomas Frank, it feels like with the offense, we need these players. Oh, whoops. That's the hour timer. We're getting these players that don't need momentum to create their own, that can create their own time and space. And we have players that don't necessarily can create their own time and space. Yes, they're good on the ball, but they're good while they're running into those channels, into those spaces, and they get that from the ball movement. They get that from player movement. They get that from overloads and overlapping, and we don't have enough movement in the players that we have to suit that, nor does the playing style suit that. It's very much a pass it to the wingers. They're going to create some space and opportunity for themselves. And we're going to have the striker, maybe some late midfield runners come in for either a cross or an option outside of the box to get the possession into those dangerous areas. And it just doesn't work that way. You see Xavi Simons with the ball. He's running around. If he has time, you'll literally see him looking. Where do I go? Who do I pass it to? Throw up his arms in frustration because he's like, no one's coming to me to get the ball and give me some more space. I can't just get the ball and then just be sitting here with the ball at my feet and trying to ping this perfect, lob through ball onto that's just not his game. He needs someone running almost damn near next to him, damn near parallel to him. They need to be doing 1-2s. They need to be flicking the ball to each other, quick shots at the goal. It's just two different playing styles, man. And it's just I went on a bit of a rant there, but it's just a lot of things aren't connecting. And Frank mentioned these messages he's trying to get out to players, and it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's necessarily a message. I think it's how you want to play, and these players aren't that. And if he recognizes that, then he needs to come out and say that. He needs to come out and say either I got it wrong, the recruitment team and we got it wrong. These players aren't what we're looking for. I need more. Or he needs to sit there and say, hey, when I got here, they gave me a list of players that they were already buying or a list of players they're already interested in. I didn't really want any of them, but we needed them. So they brought in the players that they think I would need. And we are where we are here today. And the accountability needs to start somewhere, but it's always going to fall on the managership because the ownership doesn't want that accountability. They're not going to own up to the accountability. They're going to leave it all for the manager and the players. And as Tottenham fans, we've been blaming the manager and the players for years. And it's not that they don't deserve the blame. They have their share of the blame pie, but for years now, we've been saying these players aren't good enough. For years now, we've been going through manager after manager, through this carousel, trying to find the right one. But yet, every time the ball's on the court of the ownership, they fall short. They don't do what we need to do. And we say, well, maybe next year they'll do it for us. No next year, no waiting. We need to get this ownership out now. I think we need to try to keep Frank. I think he's a manager that can help us not lose games as we transition mass players, ownership, as we're still cleaning everything out, as we're still cleaning this rot out. I think he's someone that is capable of adjusting to the games that we have next and trying to help the team not lose. And if we can do a little bit better in the recruitment department, I think we can. It won't be as bad as what we're seeing now. but that's really it. That's all I got. Glad I was able to get through that. Yeah, man, that was that felt like that needed to be said, especially for me. Needed to get that out and just kind of make it known, kind of how I feel and where we are. So I mean, Frank N. If you want to use those dumb terminology, I'm quote unquote Frank N. But it's really kind of more of listen, with the players we got, it's never going to work with any manager. To be quite honest, it's not going to work with any manager. So I think stick with the manager that prides himself on just saying it doesn't really matter what I have. I'm going to try to make sure this team doesn't lose every game, and use that profile of manager to hold the ship down while we get rid and try to rebuild everything around the ship, if that makes sense. Um, but that's all, folks. That's all we have for today. I want to thank everybody for joining this live stream. You got to witness greatness. Hit that like and subscribe button, people, before we head out of here tonight. Hope everybody's going to have a good night tonight. I got some parlays going. I'm going to be watching some sports, make myself a little bit of dub. I hope everybody, again, has a good night. Hit the like and subscribe button. We're going to be doing this more. It's going to be more consistent. We're going to get better with time. So if you're saying this is some BS, first of all, you are wrong, sir. You are witnessing greatness in the making. And what I can say for now is that it's only going to get up from here. It's only going to go up from here. So go ahead and come in now. Say you were in on the De La Spurs train before you start seeing this big round face and other videos with other content creators, because it's only going to go up from here. I'm telling you, it's only going to go up. You only got 1 to 0 viewers now, but you can only go up from there. You can't lose any viewers from 0. So come be a part of the greatness. I want to thank everybody for joining. Make your voice known in the chats. Follow me on X. You can at me at whatever you see on social media. If you see some BS, if you want me to comment on something, just go ahead and at me. I'll do it. I'll look over at it. But yeah, man, it's going up. It's going up. De La Spurs live again. Sorry again for being away for so long. The work is crazy around this time of year, but hey, man, we're gonna be getting to it. So, yeah, man, we're only going up from here. So, thank you so much again, everybody. Y'all have a good night.